welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. We are at level 281. I am Big Al, and with me today, we have KooshMoose.
Hello.
We have Wildwest.
Hello.
His 08 has been banished. Banished, I tell you. So I really don't like when people have lowercase gamer tags. Speaking of which, we have the return of Mr. rawkerdude.
Daddy's back.
Return of
Hello.
the Mac.
Almost, not quite. Yes, my triumphant return now that that other guy is gone. I can finally come back for today.
I mean, you realize most people couldn't tell you apart, so it's basically the same.
I'm having a hard time remembering what you mean by other guy.
He's dead to us.
Yeah. I feel like nothing's changed. This seems right.
Seems right.
Well, the age of the podcasters had gone up when he left, but now you just brought it down again, so
That's true.
you ruined it for us olds.
Am I the youngest? I don't know if I'm the youngest.
Oh, you're the youngest.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'm still not that young. I'm in my mid-30s
Sure.
almost. Almost.
If you grew up watching Power Rangers,
Almost.
you were young.
Fairness.
Yeah, if your age begins with a 3, you are young.
Fair point.
Although Wild West will be 39 forever, though.
I haven't even hit 39
like
the first
Pikachu.
time yet, so
See?
He's on the run to
Exactly.
39 kids, so got to hit that first.
no.
That's gimmick infringement, my friend.
Well, you know, you were sitting on it. I had to jump in there.
Speaking of jumping in there, we have the question of the week. The Game Awards happened on Thursday, and our old friend Fufu Cuddly Poof is like, yeah, we'll play Gears as soon as the Game Awards are over. So he made us wait to play games to watch Game Awards for some reason.
This is when you put the SpongeBob narrator sound in that says 3 hours later.
It was.
And
3
I was going
hours
to say,
later.
that wouldn't even be enough. You need like a 4 hours later one.
It's a very long show.
How long would it be if they let the award winners talk?
Oh, at least 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, really. Unbelievable. Well, anyway, the trailer awards came and went. And we asked the patrons, what were your favorite trailers from the Game Awards and why? If nothing struck your fancy, what would you have liked to see make an appearance? And an optional question for anyone who didn't see the awards or who doesn't care, name your favorite category that would never be included in an award show and your winner. For example, Goodest Boy Award for games that let you pet the dog. This year goes to Lunar. And that, of course, came to you from the lovely mind of KooshMoose. So, I see now that Corey's here with the show notes are all color-coded. So it sounds like Corey wants to go first.
Just going off the list here, and top it off is somebody left us a message under the name Fufu Santa Claus Poof, whoever that is, and they think they have an opinion that needs to be shared with the world, so they did it in text form.
They do.
And they said the 2 standouts for me are The Finals, coming to Xbox, and Jurassic Park Survival. The Finals looks like a super cool new BR game, and I'm a sucker for anything Jurassic Park. Also excited for new Jet Set and Crazy Taxi. Biggest win of the night is that basically everything shown is coming to Xbox, and this wasn't just a Sony Studios showcase. So he had 2 standouts and other 2 games he likes, and anything that's coming to Xbox. So yeah. I can't speak much to
What?
the finals. It's a free-to-play arena battle shooter. Does not scream foo-foo to me, but if he's excited, then I'll go with it. It does have fully destructible environments, but it is out there, free-to-play now. You can play it. So that was a nice little... I don't know if it was a shadow drop or not. I wasn't keeping up on the finals news, but his other one, Jurassic Park and the Sega stuff, oh man, that tickled my fancy, jingled my jollies even. And Jurassic Park was one of my top 2 announcements we got. So it starts off with a CGI trailer, and that's most of what you see. And we don't really know a lot about the game. It's a very quick gameplay at the very end, but it seems like it is going to be first-person action survival. I don't want to say survival horror. I've seen other podcasts mention it, but it is the Jurassic Park game I think that everybody's always wanted. It actually takes place one day after the events of the first Jurassic Park movie. So just being in that world is exciting, and you're thrown right into basically the movie the next day. So I think it's going to be, I'm really excited for it. I'm really hyped for this Jurassic Park game. We have no details about it other than it's happening. So it can go up or it can go down, depending on what is produced. So fingers crossed for that. And did anybody else get hyped on Jurassic Park, or am I alone in that?
Nope, I did as well.
You're alone.
Good.
Oh,
You're a good man.
I was gonna talk about
now
that
if your age
later.
begins with 3,
You like Jurassic Park?
you
Something?
yeah.
The biggest win
Kenny
is that it's not
loves
management.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
he
I'm
plays the
with you
management.
We've
there.
got management with the
for
evolution
sure.
game anyways, so that's fine.
Yeah, I always get excited with those, and then they don't land. But yeah, he also is excited for the Jet Set and oh gosh, Jet Set and Crazy Taxi stuff. This was a part of a bigger announcement that Sega put on. Another one of my more excited moments. We don't know much about it other than they're basically remaking Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and one more.
Shinobi.
With the catch the tagline and more to come. So it seems like they're going to their backlog and digging from that well or whatever. And I think that's exciting. Old school Sega is probably where I like them best. Seems like they're going to those Dreamcast days. So hopefully that works out for them. Vulgar Latin also said the only trailer I saw was Blade. So how you only saw one trailer out of 3.5 hours is beyond me, but you managed to see a good one. Yes, this is a Marvel game in the lines of Spider-Man and Wolverine. This is Marvel Blade, and I think they're making an Iron Man game. The difference is this one is being made by Arcane Studios, of Bethesda. So while they didn't say Xbox, this is coming to Xbox, obviously. Should be Game Pass Day 1, all that. Whether it's exclusive or not, that's like the mystery at this point. Other than when it comes out, they said let them cook, like that's their words. So this is probably 2026 at the earliest. But I am pretty hyped on it as well. I like Arcane. They're probably my favorite Bethesda studio. They are the ones who made Deathloop and Dishonored, some of my favorite Bethesda games. And while if I could pick from the Marvel pool, Blade would not be my first or fifth choice, but it would be probably close to that. I think they're going to make it cool, and I think they're the right studio to do it. So I'm kind of excited that we're getting our own Marvel game.
So I haven't done Deathloop yet, but I have done all the Dishonored. If they did Blade like Dishonored, would you like that?
I think I would.
Because I would.
I need to go back and do Death of an Outsider and finish 2. I probably need to restart it at this point. But I really liked 1. And Deathloop was my favorite game, or almost my game of the year last year when it came out. You really should play that if you liked those games. I didn't play Redfall. I don't know if they are they the ones who did Redfall
No,
too.
I don't think so.
No,
Yeah,
no, they
I
are
thought
not.
that was a different one.
That's Arcane Studios, not Arcane Leon.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. So I don't know, it has good legs that it's standing on. So let's just hope it delivers.
Yeah, I don't know about the first person combat. Like, if they stick with that, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy
I
that.
think they have already
like-
said this is third person action adventure.
Okay, well then I'm definitely more excited about that than I am first person combat.
I'm almost positive they said that, but yeah, I think that would third person it would fit this better.
Question is, and this is the deal maker: Jessica Biel on or off board? Like, is she on board or is she not going to make it?
Off board.
Darn it. Okay.
I don't know. I think it was
Ooh.
on FX the other day when I was just passing through channels, and it was on. Her character's pretty wooden in it.
Blade 2.
Blade 3.
Yeah.
Blade 3.
Is it 3?
Yeah,
Is it Blade
it's
3?
3.
Okay, yeah.
3 is the one that had
With
her
Ryan
and
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
As
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Right, he's playing Deadpool, but not Deadpool quite yet.
Wait,
Really?
Ryan Reynolds was also Deadpool in the Blade movies?
No, I was saying
Well,
he
no,
was
but
playing the shtick.
he's been
He was
workshopping.
playing the
Okay.
shtick of.
He's been workshopping his Deadpool shtick for many years before he actually was Deadpool.
Right. I knew about X-Men 3, but I have not seen the Blade trilogy.
He was Deadpool, basically. Well, I mean, he was Deadpool, yeah, but like in X-Men Origins Wolverine, he was still workshopping it, like Koosh said. Getting it ready. Getting it ready.
I'm hoping Arcane is our little Insomniac, if you will.
So do we?
Corey, I can give you. Sorry, I just wanted to tell Corey something very important. I could give you a reason to see the Blade movies.
I've seen the first one. I don't
Um,
remember it, but I did not know that there was 3 of them.
Yeah. In the third movie, Blade Trinity, Triple H is in that movie.
Oh, he would be an awesome actor.
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
great.
He was
He's
a
got-
vampire, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's got
If I
the
recall,
teeth.
yeah.
He's got the acting chops. Yeah.
Well,
He was a
you are right. I
vampire.
am intrigued.
Yeah. Huge movie career he had. Wow, that was 2004. Wow.
So
Long
yeah,
time
pass it
ago.
to the 40-year-olds. What do you guys got?
Sorry, Jameson.
No, I was just gonna ask
What were you gonna say,
y'all.
something?
Do we want that to be exclusive, or do we want it to be multi-platform?
What were we
What are your
talking about?
thoughts? Blade.
Blade.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. You mean those things that we used to have on the Xbox 360? Those are the only blades I care about.
Oh my gosh!
Mm.
Now you're showing your
uh,
age.
Well.
If I could have the other games, like even if they were like on PlayStation and PC, I'll let them have Blade on PC. But if we can't have Spider-Man and Wolverine, then no, they can't have Blade.
Not that we really care to have Blade all to ourselves. You just can't have him if you don't give us your Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just that, yeah.
Well, I think
Or
Blade has the
Wolverine.
chance
Oh
to
my
be really
gosh.
good, though. Iron Man's going to be, I think, EA, so that'll be multi-platform most likely.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
pretty
Blade,
safe
you know,
bet.
Blade has the chance to be really good, especially if they could get Wesley Snipes to voice it. Might be pretty cool.
Why not? He's not doing anything else.
just evading taxes like always.
So you mean, so they would just throw away that trailer that they had, or that little sizzle that they had, because that wasn't Wesley
No.
Snipes in that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Would they be that? I don't know if they'd be that close to doing lines yet, anyways. But
Yeah, maybe.
We'll have to ask Volger, because it's the only one he saw, so he probably watched it very intently.
I don't know. Like you said, we have Iron Man coming. We have Black Panther. They're making a game. I'm glad that. Well, I'm not glad that the MCU is dying, but I'm glad that the video game Marvel Universe is thriving.
yeah, it needed to after
A
Avengers.
little late.
Oh man, what if this leads
we'll
up to an Avengers Marvel game?
Last thing,
That'd be
whenever they
awesome.
release it, I would hope that they would not release it in the same year as Wolverine, because that might hurt it, depending on how that game looks.
As long as they don't make it a games as a service game.
Well, it's a single player game, so it won't, it won't ride the charts for that long. I don't.
No, but just, I mean, competition, with that stuff sometimes.
Comparatively, yeah. I mean, if you say it's in the same year, but I mean, even if they just did it a month later, like 6 months later or whatever,
that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Alrighty, Wild West, it's your turn.
All right. The Chewy Holiday Special says that OD horror game trailer was really weird and it didn't give much away, but a Kojima and Jordan Peele team up sounds like it could be awesome. The Blade game from Arcane also has lots of potential. Let's hope it's more Dishonored, Prey, and Deathloop than Redfall. So I think we kind of covered a lot of the Blade game, so we'll leave that at that. So let's go to the next kind of big one. It wasn't really didn't really give anything much away, but it was just a little bit of a trailer promoting the Kojima Microsoft partnership with the cloud and everything. I've never played the Metal Gear games. I've never been a big fan of them. Are you guys excited to see a Kojima Xbox team up on a cloud game?
Not
yes.
in the slightest.
Yes, but not for me. For other people, I'm happy for other people, and I'm happy that we get that big name, and it's kind of locked down. But it means nothing to me because I'm gonna have to be told that it's amazing, and I have to play it. Other than that, I'm not gonna check it out.
Yeah,
I am more excited on what they mean by harnessing the power of the cloud and what that tech is. And that will get me to check it out more than Kojima's name being on it,
Yeah.
Because it looks weird anyways, but it seems like it's one that's, again, far off, like 2025, probably 2026 again at the earliest, if I had to guess. So I kind of hope we actually stop hearing about it, but I don't think we will.
I mean, it's been they announced it. We haven't really heard much about it until then. I think you're right. I mean, I would say even later than 26 after that, knowing how perfectionist type he is, it'll probably be pretty far out there.
I don't know the... sorry, I was going to say, I don't know the legitimacy of it, but I heard they are also working on Death Stranding too. So
yes.
If that's true, then, that's got to push back, development on this a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. Well,
was that a previous announcement in Death Stranding 2? I think I thought they did that at another show or something.
Probably.
Yeah, it was. I remember hearing about that somewhere too.
Yeah,
but it'll be. I think it'll be good to get something like that on the Xbox, to have a partnership like that. But those that I don't. So I guess the next thing would be like, do you guys get excited when they bring celebrities out? Because to me, it's kind of like a bore fest when they bring the celebrities out. Other than like Keanu Reeves was pretty cool with Cyberpunk. Like him.
I mean, Al Pacino, that was great. Remember when they brought Al out?
Because it's like
that's a guy. If anything speaks gamer, it's Al Pacino.
Yeah. Or The Rock, pre-Rock,
yeah.
pre. He was out there doing his stuff. I don't know. It just
it doesn't do much for me.
It just was kind of, I don't know. It was kind of weird. I was kind of turning the audio on and off. I was watching a show with my wife and had that on the computer, and I was watching it. And when Jordan was out there, and then when Anthony Mackie was out there as well, it just, I don't know. Like, it's a weird blending, and maybe it's just not the right people blending, but it just wasn't like, hey, why do we need celebrities out here to promote something that,
I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. The celebrity just seems so far away from any type of person I am or people that I talk to are. So like, when I see Matthew McConaughey come out, I'm like, I don't care that you're in the game.
Yeah.
I don't care what your game's about. You're not selling it to me. So yeah, they don't do much for me.
Yeah, I would agree. So next patron, we got Wastelander Joe to The World on Fire, and I still love that name. I've been too busy for watching games get awarded, but I will gladly answer Moosh on a Caboose's question. Games most similar to Silent Hill, something from the PS1 era in general, and the award goes to Signalis. Unless that was last year, Whoa, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Have a happy holidays, gents, and M if you're on this week. And it stops.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Well, that, yeah, but I
It's
thought...
just and M. Yeah, it's and
Yeah.
M if you're on this week.
So, and then he says, "Oh wait, recent update: Lego mode and Fortnite wins it if the most like Valheim award in a landslide." So,
I heard that Lego thing's pretty buggy. Like it's got like infinite level ups and
Yeah, there's a lot of exploits.
yeah, a bunch of exploits in that so far. So that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I've never played a Fortnite game in my life, so I would not know. Yep, Blade and Jurassic Park for me, but I'll just make that short and sweet because we've already talked about it. Those are the two games that were exciting to me.
Wow. Okay. Vulgar Latin went on to say, I think I'd give the Wrap It Up award for longest cutscenes to the Metal Gear Solid collection. Some intensely long cutscenes there. But then he went on to say that Metal Gear is all about the story and lore, though. That's the appeal for me. So for me, I wanted to firstly say that Hideo Kojima looked pretty friggin' amazing for 60 years old. And maybe it was just me, but
That's because he's not American.
I don't know.
Their diets are way better than ours.
Because he's wearing sunglasses, I'm sure.
And the red shoes
they
detracted your attention. So
I
Yeah,
started eating sushi.
he dresses
Yeah,
well.
I don't know. Looks better than Jordan Peele. Yeah, my history is playing Metal Gear Solid 1, like starting it like 3 or 4 different times and not getting into it. Not really a stealth fan. And then buying Metal Gear Solid 2 for PlayStation 2 at launch and never playing it. So yeah, that's my history. So this new collection, I'm going to have to check it out.
So we know what you're going to do with OD, right?
The same thing you're going to do. I'm going to hope that someone else enjoys it, yes.
No, I mean, you're going to buy it and not play it, right?
Download it from
clearly-
Game Pass and
I
just leave it
don't
on
think
your...
I'm going to...
Yeah.
That I'll do, yes. I would not pay money for it.
Clearly the pattern.
Would not pay money for it. For me, there was a lot of games that look cool to me. What's going on, guys? I'm usually the harbinger of doom over here.
I mean, I left some on the table intentionally.
Oh, I feel like Nate's going to say a lot of the same ones that I'm going to say. So I wonder if I should let him go first.
Just go ahead.
No, you know what? Screw that guy. So for me, as a big, Super Nintendo RPG fan, I was very surprised when it looked like there was going to be like a Dragon Quest game, but then the word mana flashed on the screen, and it was Visions of Mana, which is in the Secret of Mana family, Seiken Densetsu in Japan, and the sequel to Secret of Mana was Japan exclusive until the longest while. It's on the Switch now as Trials of Mana. So I would have assumed that this would also be for the Switch and PlayStation. But no, Xbox is getting this game. This was by far the most exciting thing for me. Secret of Mana was a huge success in like 93. It's like old. It was a 3-player co-op game. Nate will remember the multi-tap you had to buy to get more than 2 players to play. You might.
I do remember the multi-tap, but I never played this game.
Oh my gosh. I think you would really like it. It was very good. And yeah, there weren't many games that took advantage of it, sadly. But that one was a must. 3-player action RPG. So I'm excited to see what this one brings to the table here. And And it says that it's coming in 2024, which seems pretty soon compared to some of these others that are multiple years away.
Is that a for sure thing? I guess you don't know much that other than that. My fantasy team is asking.
Oh, that it's definitely going to come out.
Yeah,
You've got a team? You have a team?
yeah, you know, it's a group. It's a group effort.
If it's anything like Balan Wonderland,
Collusion.
and I was also excited for the Sega games, like Streets of Rage and Crazy Taxi. That game doesn't get enough love. That was a huge arcade/Dreamcast game, and introduced me to Bad Religion. And
Does that game do enough today?
it's
Or is it all about the
it's
nostalgia?
aged poorly, but if they do a remake of it, maybe it'll be good. You see?
They showed very small clips of each one of them, and they do look great. Each one of the Sega games, but
Like Streets
that's
of
like
Rage,
a $30 game max, right?
Streets of Rage 4 was good. The new Jet Set Radio should be good. Just don't make it too hard, please. But these days, it's like, oh, can't do graffiti these days. Like everything is just so sanitized. So hopefully,
It'll be the opposite. You're cleaning up graffiti.
probably. Like Grand Theft Auto's fine, but
It'd be like
petty crimes are no good.
augmented reality tagging.
There
That's
you
what it'll
go.
be.
Virtual spray paint.
Virtual spray paint. There's one more I'll discuss that's probably one that Nate likes, is Harmonium, the musical, which looks like a Disney game about a deaf girl who gets transported to a magical world through a book. This just looked delightful. It's also coming out for Netflix, so that's going to be interesting. It just looks delightful.
And Game Pass. It's coming to Game Pass, so you will be able to play this one without having to buy it. So
That's amazing.
Which is good because we'd buy it anyways.
Yeah, because we're all parents, and this looks like something that we can pretend is for the kids, but then we'd play it.
well, when we play cleanup, when the kids are done
yes,
playing it,
they'll
yeah.
put it on the tag accidentally, and then we have to clean it up. Like there was one more thing I'm forgetting, but I will call on Nate while I try to remember.
All right. I will read Mental Knight 5's answer. He says, as the don't nod guy, I'll play along and pick the one no one else will. My favorite reveal was Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, because I want to play more hormonal young women. Can't tell the gameplay from the trailer, but at least that means it's chock full of cutscenes. And what we do know suggests a super chill experience, a lot more like Tell Me Why and a lot less Jusant, how dare you. I just want to walk around, pick up photos, and comment on them. Well, I think you're in luck because that's exactly what that one looks like. And
Until you
It
silly
did look
goose.
good. I will say that, like, they do make good looking games. Not really my favorite thing that I'm looking forward to, but it's not my least favorite. So what am I excited about? Oh my gosh, what haven't we talked about? We haven't talked about Windblown
Mm-hmm.
by Motion Twin, the Dead Cells dev. That is a cool looking, like a 3/4 perspective action type game. So it's definitely not Dead Cells.
It also
It
looked
looks kinda
multiplayer
like-
too.
Yes, it is multiplayer. It's a PC early access in 2024. So that means Xbox, if we get it, will be after that. That looks cool. So I've got my eye on that. I'll just be following that one. Let's see. Tales of Kenzera Zhao. Yeah, I know I nailed that right. That is a really cool looking Metroidvania. It basically looked like Black Panther. Like there were so many similarities to Black Panther. which I guess Black Panther pulls from the same mythology, so that's why. And that's due out in April of 2024, mid-April or late April. That looks really cool, so I'm kind of hoping to learn more about that. Skull and Bones apparently got a release date.
Well, another one.
And another, like their 9th release date. And this one is probably going to stick. It's February 16th, 2024. I mean, they wouldn't pull the ball out from under us again, would they? And Banishers Ghost of New Eden. I don't hear anybody talking about that in the Discord, but I think that looks really cool. And it's, it's probably one of those games that I'm really excited for. And it's just kind of okay. But that's February 13th. So I'm excited to get my hands on that at some point. And then the one that I am most excited about. No Rest for the Wicked. This is from Moon Studios, my Ori people. And sure, yeah, they're not the best working conditions apparently. Maybe they've ironed that out. I don't know. But the art style in this game looks really good. And when I first heard that they were doing an action role-playing game, and not a platformer and not an Ori, I got kind of sad. And hadn't seen anything until now. And that, from the moment I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I can live with that decision. Like, let's see what this is. Because so far, it looks amazing. The trailer looks exactly like, to me, I kind of nailed down the art style. It looks like that Arcane series on Netflix, which is the League of Legends anime. And that looks, I guess, is it anime? I'm not sure. But animated movie or animated series looks great. And the combat in this game looks fun too. So I'm really hoping that this makes it worth the no Ori right away. And maybe these guys will return back to Ori at some point. But yeah, a lot of things. I'm excited about a lot of things, and I'm going to keep it short. Not going to mention anything else. So for me, the number one with a bullet is No Rest for the Wicked.
So speaking of release dates and everything,
really cool.
We got Hellblade release date, kind of period, I guess I should say. Finally, we excited about that?
What was
you guys
that?
Looking
It was 2024.
Oh, so they gave us a 12-month window.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Xbox.
Better than what
it's a
they've
Bay
done
window.
before. So I'm guessing it's going to be their fall thing. So
yeah. This will obviously be a big one for them. They showed off combat, which is something that is, I guess, new in this one. I haven't played the first Hellblade. This will probably get me to play that before this one comes out, but you can't knock them for their visuals. It looks great.
yeah, they have good visuals. They have good sound. The first one kind of had like little mini bosses, but it was basically just kind of walking around different areas. It wasn't a lot of combat, so this one kind of gave me like the Rice Son of Rome type feel with it, with the combat. So we'll see how that goes.
I wasn't getting the sense that the combat was going to be that good. And I don't remember how heavy the combat was in the first. I don't think it was very heavy at all. It didn't seem great in the first one. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like a selling point. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to that game for the combat. It's definitely not that.
All right. Any others? Anyone wants to talk about? Brothers remake.
Monster Hunter.
I mean, I'm there for that.
I'll play that. Brothers, not. I'll never play Monster Hunters
Oh, why
I was
not?
just going through the list of.
because I dived the other
I mean,
Monster Hunter and it
What's that, like
blew
five?
a large wad. It sucked.
What's that, like 500 hours?
I don't know, but I don't even know if I made it past the tutorial.
Really?
Yeah, it was like they were touting that you could like play co-op with somebody, and me and my friend tried for an hour, and I don't think we ever did. that was pre-achievements. Pre-achievement hunting seriously again. Days. Brothers, I will play. Hopefully not to the finish, right?
No,
yeah,
no.
it's Team
You
Achievement
should-
list, and it should.
Of course, yeah,
There's-
you should.
should've-
There's supposed to be a new area. I'm pretty sure they said there was a new area. So there will be a little extra gameplay. Maybe they'll put it at the end. I don't know. Who knows?
Awful achievement list.
Since you kept this train going, I'm going to mention Dave the Diver crossover with Dredge. So they're pulling Dredge content into Dave the Diver, and I'm hoping that we'll get that sooner rather than later because I'm really looking forward to that game.
Yeah, it seems like I keep seeing mention of Dredge on TA and everything. I gotta look something like I might be interested in to try sometime.
Yeah, it's on my watch
what about-
list. I'm waiting for the end of the year sales, and if it doesn't come, I'm just gonna drop the bullet and get it.
What about Big Walk, the Untitled Goose Game developer game?
Oh,
Have they earned our trust?
They have with
it looks
me.
weird.
I'm interested.
Yeah, it looks weird.
No.
I'm gonna follow it. I mean, I'm not gonna get it right away, but they've definitely got my trust to check it out.
It just looked so weird. Like that was definitely the weirdest trailer
that
for
looks
me
weird.
in the whole game.
yeah,
of
that
the
looks
whole
weird.
Words.
What about Komori?
You have to remind me
show
of
us
what that
that.
one is.
There was the woman that came on stage,
Oh,
and she
right,
was
right.
like super cute and
no
hard to
publisher
understand.
yet game.
Yeah. Yeah, no publisher game, but oozing style, like kind of street ninjas. And then they can see demons by looking through like the window in their fingers. So that seems pretty cool. I mean, but we don't know anything about it. Is it just parkour? Is it combat? Is it a hero-based thing? We have no idea what that is.
Yeah. First glance looks great, but yes, too much mystery at the moment. That was the one thing I got from this Game Awards. It was probably the best Game Awards overall. Still a lot of things that can be done better, but a lot of the stuff they showed were 2025 at least. And that makes me a little bit sad. 2023 was so good. I kind of have a feeling 2024 might suck in terms of awesome
Comparison.
New games, so yeah.
Now, as for the award show, itself, there wasn't much to speak of there. But the thing that I got from that, thinking about it afterwards, was, hey, Sony didn't own the awards like they did like in previous years. Like this year, it was all about Baldur's Gate 3 and other games, and it just really wasn't like a Sony-owned production, or it just seemed like it was kind of rigged before. They would just always get the benefit of the doubt if it was kind of like two things were kind of even, like, oh, it goes to Sony. And so even though Xbox didn't come out as like the big winner, right? It was just nice to see that Sony didn't come out the big winner, and it was kind of spread around. So I appreciated that.
For sure. Yeah. Like Spider-Man 2, I'm sure it's a great game, got 0 of the awards it was nominated for, which is kind of mind-blowing.
That's okay.
Wait, did Baldur's Gate release yet? Because the guy didn't announce that it did, so
Oh,
technically not out yet, right?
It's released and it's been patched at least once.
No, I mean,
yeah.
Just looking at some objective reviews on Spider-Man, I've heard that it's pretty samey to the first one, which is can be a good thing, but I think Baldur's Gate kind of pushed it more from what I've seen, and I'm interested in trying it out someday, see what all the praise is about.
To be
Baldur's
honest,
Gate or Spider-Man?
yeah, which one?
3.
Yeah. That's on my list as well. Kind of waiting for an end of year game sale. Like, doesn't happen, I might just go ahead and get it. But what it did get me to kind of like ponder a little bit more is Alan Wake 2. That game apparently has longer legs than I thought. How many awards it did win.
No, you don't need to convince me about that.
They
And the
added
DLC.
New
Is
Game
that out
Plus?
yet?
So the new game,
Or is
yeah,
this
New Game
week?
Plus is out. No new achievements though, but I'm still gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm still gonna go and do it. So.
Sure.
Man, good man.
I'm glad that it got a lot of recognition. It hasn't really been on the charts for Xbox at least, and I think it's been at the bottom of the PlayStation top 40, but it's a great game, and they're going to continue doing stuff with it. So hopefully it meets their expectations.
They got a song and dance out of it. I know that much.
Yeah, it's an incredible level. Whenever you play it, it was an incredible level doing all that stuff. So.
Oh wait, that is kind of in the game.
Oh, it is in the game.
A music bake. Oh wow.
It is.
Now I'm even more interested.
It is like, it's crazy.
Yeah, there was this more Final Fantasy stuff also. There was a crossover with Apex Legends, and they announced 2 new Final Fantasy 16 DLCs. So those were sad. Well, Final Fantasy 16, we got to get it on Xbox. Come on, Square.
They've already said it's coming. I'm pretty sure.
No, they haven't.
Or no, is that 14?
Stop. Yes.
14.
14 is coming. That's the one. That's the massively multiplayer one. And yeah, 16 is the brand new shiny one that won the awards.
Okay.
I have been seeing more Square Enix games like saying coming to Xbox in the future, so I think that relationship's getting better.
I did learn something about Baldur's Gate from one of the awards, actually. And it won for best multiplayer. So I had no idea. I just looked. It's 2 to 4 player co-op campaign. That's news to me for this type of game.
Dungeons and Dragons, baby.
So that's cool.
Well, I mean, if that's multiplayer, then I guess Cyberpunk can be a games as service. So
That's just fan service. All right, that was some good game awarding talk from our award-winning podcast. Here's somewhat of a sad news item. E3 be dead? E3 dead. Anyone care?
Well, like officially, like the coroner
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
Yes. That's one
it's
way
not
of
on life
putting-
support anymore.
That's one way of putting it. Like, has it existed?
Yeah, the cops got a call to go check out the apartment. They said, we haven't heard from them in a while. Could you just check in?
Yeah, it was a rotting corpse.
All of E3's
Yeah, time
pets
of
running
death.
around. Has E3 existed in any capacity since COVID? I'm going to guess.
No.
Didn't they do something? I thought they did something last year.
I think they tried, and then I think everything got canceled, if I recall.
Okay.
No, they did. They came out and said, here, we're going to do this. And then Sony's like, we're not showing anything. I think Nintendo said, we're not showing anything. Xbox was like, okay, I guess we're not going to show anything. So then they said, okay, we'll cancel it and regroup for the following year. And that was the last you heard of.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, Jeff Keighley called, and we're going to go talk to him next.
This is much
So-
cheaper if we put it on our own YouTube.
All right, we're going to go on to Game Showcase. And Nate, you are first, my friend.
All right. So last week I said I was going to be talking about Christmas games all month, and I'm not. I might
Oh.
talk about 1 or 2 more, but not this week. This week I am talking about a Vayner
Oh.
that came out last week. And it is called Laika Aged Through Blood. And this game I have been kind of keeping my eye on for a while. Because I was waiting for it to come to Xbox. It's been on PC. And we finally got our turn at it. A week ago. And in this game, you play I think a coyote or some sort of wild dog who rides a motorcycle. And your family, your mother before you, and then you, and then supposedly your daughter at some point have this ability where you're immortal. And it gets passed down to, I guess, one person at a time. So the mother had it, or the grandmother had it for a long time. And she passed her more immortality down to you, the character that you play. And I guess at some point that's going to be passed down. Maybe that's part of the game. Maybe it's not part of the game. I don't know. this game is interesting because for the most part, you are on a motorcycle and you are kind of going around Excite Bike style. Number one, this game looks really good. So it's not Excite Bike graphics, but it is the same sort of concept. You've got these, this landscape that you're going up and you're going off the landscape. And you have weapons. So you'll be able to switch through weapons and you'll be able to upgrade that to carry more weapons. And the weapons have limited ammo. So the revolver you start out with has 2 shots. And once those 2 shots are gone, you have to reload. And the way you reload is by doing a backflip, a full backflip. And when you do that, you'll reload your gun. There's also the ability to reflect bullets. And so you just kind of like change your direction by holding the X button. It'll change whether you're going left or right, which way you're facing. And if you time that right and you hit a projectile coming in, it'll reflect the projectile. However, that also needs to be reloaded. And the way you reload that is with a front flip. So you kind of have this limited arsenal in terms of that. And your bike serves as a shield. So if you face the bike so that it is between you and an enemy that is shooting you, and it can block a projectile, but that leaves you open to the other side, right? So if you have 2 people on either side of you, you're blocking one with your bike, you're completely exposed to the other one. So this game is all about prioritizing targets and making sure that you are facing, the way you want to at the time you want to, and that you're constantly doing flips and blocking and reloading as you're going. Now, what helps that is when you go to your aim mode, you hold down the right trigger and you use the right stick to kind of aim your gun. It's a lot like if you played the Macintosh game a long time ago called Abuse. I think it was called Abuse. And that game you would move around with the WASD, but you would use your mouse to kind of aim this gun. So you could be running right and aiming left and shooting. That was like a brand new thing way back then. So this game is the same. You're able to, aim in a direction opposite to the way you're going. Excuse me. But when you're doing that, it slows down time. You have a little bit of a bullet effect, but that is on a timer. So you don't have infinite time to make your decision. You have like a little bit of time. You have a couple seconds to slow down time before everything speeds right back up. There are boss fights. There's exploration. There's little mini quests that you're doing all the time. And the game is just really good. It's not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. But I enjoy the challenge. When you die, it's a very quick reload. You don't even notice it. It's that fast. So you're dead. Boom. You're right back in. You're doing it again. The checkpoints are pretty generous. So you can save at these little totems as you're flying by them. You just hit the Y button, like a little prompt to come up. And while you're speeding by it, you have plenty of time to hit Y and it'll save that as a checkpoint. And you can just jump right back to that as soon as you're dead. When you die, you'll drop a little baggie and that will have some of your gold. I think half of your money. And if you die again, you drop a second bag. You can upgrade that to drop more bags, so you have more chances to regain all of your gold. If you die, let's say you only had 2 of these satchels or whatever, and you die 3 times, well, you missed the first satchel. All that money's gone. It's not a big deal. There's ways you can grind money. You can just grind these sections over and over again, so you can build up. So once again, this game is not for everybody, but if you do enjoy that type of challenge, like that quick do-over, like how am I going to get through this section? Okay, well, I take this guy out first, that guy out. Then it might be for you. I have one complaint about the game, and that is the music. The music is really good, but it's kind of like a soundtrack. So the music isn't like background music or level-based music or ambient or anything like that. They're actual kind of like songs that you're playing through a cassette player, and it's actually collectible. You'll be picking up different cassettes. They're hidden throughout the world. And when you do that, you get a new song. The problem is it's on repeat. So you'll hear the same songs over and over and over again. And for like 3 days in a row, I had these songs just stuck in my brain and I could not get them out. I would go to bed, I would wake up the next morning and I would have that song in my head. And it was just driving me nuts. And when I turned them off, like you go into like the little cassette player and you hit pause, which you think would take it off. Well, they load up again the next time you zone out and zone into a different zone. You basically have to redo that setting. So I have just resorted to just turning the music off in the game because just for my sanity, and I will go back later and listen to those songs because they are good. They are very good songs, but it's just a poor design choice where it just kind of burns into your brain. So all in all, I really like this game. I am not going to get the first completion. I don't know does anyone have the first completion?
Me.
No.
Oh.
No, they're one short. There's one guy with 41 achievements out of 42. So that will be completed at some point. I was in the running for a little bit, but of course got distracted. And other things came up, so I won't be completing that. One other thing the game could do better is those little side quests where you have to return something. They don't mark them on the map for you. They allow you to put, as far as I've seen, as many marks on the map as you want, but they don't have different ones and you can't put like any sort of note next to it. Like, oh, well, this is where I have to return this drumstick to this guy. Well, good luck finding him again. And there are solutions out there. You can Google and find all this stuff, but yeah, it would be nice if the game tracked that a little bit better for you so you didn't have to go out and do that yourself. But that is Laika, Aged Through Blood. I am excited for it. $20, probably too much for most people for this, but I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that price, and I'm having a good time with it.
Wow. Yeah, so I've never seen a Vayner with a motorcycle like this, but there is in Fernax, you can hop on a bike and traverse with that. But other than that, this looks pretty cool.
That's because this is the first Motorvania.
Oh,
yeah, it's been coined.
He's not happy with that.
Phrase term has been coined. It's okay. But if you look at the screenshots, the art style is kind of reminiscent of like a what is that game? I'm gonna forget the name. Like not Dab or Shiv. I think it's reminiscent of like Shiv. If you've seen that, that's the game, right? Shiv.
Yeah. Shank.
So one of the things that I noticed first,
Shank.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, Shank.
One of the things I noticed
Shank.
first from the achievement list is that there are achievements for dying. One in particular is for dying 1,000 times. Now, is that just some ridiculous number, or are you actually dying that much? Do you feel like you are at least?
I've died a lot. It says I haven't died 100 times. I think the counter must be off. I must have died 100 times by now.
Nah, you're that
and
good.
that's another. It's another sad thing, that they don't really have achievement tracking, so you can't see how close you are to any of these. But yeah, I haven't died 100 times yet, and that seems wrong. I must be like right on the verge of 100. But there are places where you can, use a checkpoint to kill yourself very quickly and just hold down the stick. So
Sure.
if that's holding you back, yeah, you can get it done at some point.
It was more not really the grind of having to do that, but more so that to me that implies that this game is really difficult. But I'm not really getting that sense from you yet.
I wouldn't say that it's not difficult. I would say that it is skill based, but you can grind and upgrade your weapons and you can make it easier on yourself. If you're having a hard time with this thing, you can get more, you can upgrade your weapons to get more shots per reload. So like right now my pistol has 3, and the next upgrade for it will allow it to reload at 120 degrees as opposed to like a full rotation. So that just means when I go to block, it at that point, it's pretty much a reload, so I'll be able to fire again. So yeah, so you can do things like that will, make it easier for you to have more shots to kill more people, but nothing's going to change your health. You know, you get hit once, you're dead.
Right.
So there is a skill component to it, but you can make it easier by overloading your offense.
All right. I'm definitely more interested now than I thought I was, just from a first glance. But yeah, I kind of like the motorcycle aspect of it and riding around.
Yeah, some of those jumps are really fun. It's kind of got like a little trials component to it. None of that is really difficult, but you can tell that you're going to have to upgrade your motorcycle. If you actually go look at the little menu screen, you can see that you're going to be able to upgrade that, get more skills. There's, I was gated at one point because I didn't have a shotgun. That shotgun opens a particular type of door, so it's like the missile in Metroid. And I think I'm also going to get like a turbo boost at some point, and maybe a grappling hook. I don't know. But there's going to be some mobility options I just haven't run into yet in my, how many hours? In my 9.5 hours.
Yeah, the top guy is at like 42-ish, and they just need to grind out distance at this point, so.
Well, you'll have to get your nephew to work, maybe.
I mean, maybe that's when I'll go listen to the songs at the very end.
Yeah.
I'll listen to the songs while I'm grinding out the distance.
Where are you going to listen to the songs?
What? Yeah, when I'm grinding out distance, I'll put
I
the
mean, I
music
bet you
back
there's
on.
like a Spotify playlist.
Oh, I'm sure you can get the soundtrack. Probably on Steam, but yeah, maybe Spotify.
I bet
I bet the game has them too.
The jukebox.
Yeah,
Well, those are the
yeah.
days when you unlock the sound test in the NES games. Classic. Anything else you want to say? There you go.
I want to say that was Laika, Aged Through Blood.
Yeah, guess what? I don't like the title of this game. It should be like, they should have just called it Motorvania at this point. Motorcade. All right. Laika Aged Through Blood. I will go next and talk about a wonderful title called Invert. Brought to us by our friends at Victory Road and Turnox. Now, I played this game because I thought it was going to be a game like N+, that kind of game, and it kind of is. And it's, I wanted an easy game to play. It showed up on my RTDL, of course, and this is before the 12 Days of Christmas came out. More on that later. So TA says this is a 1 to 2 hour completion. So I played the first world, and it took maybe an hour, and then I looked at the achievement list, and you have to finish World 3. So I did a little more investigating and realized after the fact that there's cheats in this game. And
you mean the 34 TA difference didn't give you that hint?
I would have assumed that the time estimate would have been like a half an hour at that point. But
remember, this was like 2020, pre-COVID to early, so like we were still like 1 to 2 is fine.
That's true. Well, the cheats are for skipping all the levels, but you have to put a cheat code in and then start the level up, and then you can choose to end the level. However, you still have to do the boss levels, of which there are 3. So basically, the game is a platformer, and it's one of those, like an N+, well, not N+, like what Elroy calls a plat failer. So you're going to die a bunch. And much like Laika, There's achievements for dying a bunch. 666 times, to be exact. And there's also achievements for jumping a lot and for inverting a lot. So the gimmick of this game is you're hitting A to jump and Y to invert, and you're going in and out of the shadows. This is going to be blasphemy, but I could compare it to in Guacamelee when you're going in and out of the shadows and fighting guys there. So I actually thought this game would be like, do you guys ever hear of this Windows game called Gravity Guy? This is shot in the dark. Yes, it's also a phone game. So basically you run and you jump and then you hang out on the ceiling as well as the floor. So you're going up and down and up and down. And that's with the name Invert, that's what I thought it was going to be like. But it's not like that. At least in the beginning. So I saw there were cheats, but I decided to go ahead and play normally. And I wound up taking me maybe around 3 hours. Not the 7 that you see Corey.
Just saying, facts.
So
facts.
there's actually a story in this game, and there's cutscenes in this game, alongside some very horrible English translations. So the bosses are actually very hard. So maybe that has to do with the 1 to 2 hour completion. Especially if you're skipping around and not playing the game at all and you're just doing the bosses, it could be very jarring. So the boss basically is this giant thing and it goes back and forth and you have to jump on it several times. So I got all the achievements naturally, except the dying one, actually. And then there's a stage 112, where you could just let it sit because you start off by basically dying if you don't touch anything on the controller. And you could just let that go over and over. That's one way to do it. There's another way to do it by putting in the cheat code, and you can kind of get yourself lodged in the wall, and you'll just keep dying over and over. It's actually quicker, but more setup. So, being that I'm a crazy person, I used the cheats after I got the completion, and I went to the World 4, which you don't have to do for the achievements. And wouldn't you know, World 4 is like what I thought with Gravity Guy. So that's where you start going upside down on the ceiling. And I went to the boss, beat the boss, and then I went to World 5, and I saw what World 5 was, and it's basically like a runner. So you're not controlling your guy, you're on like a skateboard. So all 5 worlds have different hooks to them. And yes, Corey, I went to the last boss, beat the last boss, and saw the ending of the game, even though I didn't have to for achievements.
You
I'm
are probably one of 3
Oh, wait.
in the world.
Oh, okay.
I'm counting the developers who
It's
made
very
it.
nice. Yeah, so I just noticed now that there's a TA walkthrough that just tells you here, put the cheats in. But that sucks, because if you do it that way, then you have to like button mash jumping and inverting 1,000 times. That's lame. Anyway, if you like plat failures and you want a nice little $5 game, Invert's not so bad. It's a cute little robot. Cute little cutscenes. All right, Wild West, you've been very talkative. Your turn, brothers.
I was enjoying Koosh and you just talking about your games that you haven't been playing. I am gonna do the games with gold from April 2023. It's a game called Peaky Blinders Mastermind. Are any of y'all familiar with the show at all? Or know that it's a show?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I've heard of it, sure.
Peaky effing Blinders.
It's been in my Netflix queue for a while. I've had a friend that recommended it. I haven't played it yet, but I am a little familiar with the story and the characters in it. So this one is developed from Future Lab, and it was released in August 20th, 2020. And the reason why I started this game was I believe it was for a target. I got my first achievement, let's see, in August of this year. So I believe there was a target at that time that needed something with that, and so I started it, or it could have been a TA contest. It's a great game for a TA contest because it gives you 3 genres. It gives you stealth, it gives you strategy, and it gives you real time. So if you're ever looking for stuff that needs any of those genres, it's a great game. The achievements to get started with it can get on the tag really easily. The first achievement I got was for completing level 1, which takes less than 10 minutes. So you can easily get it on your tag if you need anything for the 12 Days of Christmas, for any other targets or contests that TA runs. It's a good game for that. All right, so the game is kind of like it's not a straight top down. It's kind of like an angled down, I guess you'd say, view, and you kind of follow a story of someone messing with that gang, and you play as all the main characters in the game, and each character has something that does a little bit different in the game. For example, I believe it's Shelby is the main character. It's what's his name from Oppenheimer, whatever his name is. So he can go up in the level, and he can kind of manipulate random people in the level to to control that character for 15 to 20 seconds. So if you are trying to walk in the level and you get stuck behind a gate, you can find one of these people, you can talk to them, and you'll be in control of that, and then you can have that person open the gate for you. Now, the main hook of this game is that you can rewind time. So, let's say that you're trying to get, you're either trying to get a collectible, you're trying to get finish the level in a certain amount of time, you're going to have to rewind time. Especially for the achievements, because there's achievements for getting gold on a level. There's achievements for picking up collectibles in the levels. And there's also an achievement for rewinding time for 300 seconds in a level as well, or in all the levels, excuse me. But the gold completion times is basically for just beating the level under a certain amount of time. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you rewind time, because most of the stuff that you have to do in the levels, especially as it progresses, is going to involve multiple actions. And the first level, I think you control just one character, but then I am in the middle of it right now. There's 10 levels total. I think I just did level 3 for one of the 12 Days of Christmas, and at that time I was controlling 2 characters. So what you can do is you'll go through the level, you'll do an action with one character. Let's say you're doing it as Shelby. You're having the guy open the door, so you'll rewind time, and then you'll switch to your other character, which the level I did, I believe her name was Ada. Her ability is being able to slip around people's field of vision, and she can distract guards or other people, so that way Shelby can slip past them without being seen. Or the little kid, I guess, is in the show. There's a little kid. He can also get past them as well without them being seen. And that's where the stealth aspect comes in, because if you do get seen, I got penalized when I did it. I don't know if you fail the level, because I've only done it one time, but you don't want to get seen, basically, as you're going through the level. So she can do that. So basically, that's where the strategy part comes in, the real-time part comes in, is you're doing these different actions to progress through the level and get to the end of it. The couple levels I've done so far, they're about 10 to 15 minutes long, so they're not very long. There's 4 collectibles in each level. So far, I've just been collecting pocket watches, so I don't know if there's a different collectible later on as you progress. but I've been enjoying the game quite a bit. I didn't really know much about it going into it. I just kind of saw the genres and I was like, oh, doesn't look that bad. TA has an estimate of 8 to 10 hours. I think it's going to fall pretty well into that. I've done it for about 2 hours so far and beaten the first 3 levels. There are a few, other than getting achievements for beating the levels, there's a few miscellaneous achievements that are supposed to be just level specific to get, that you'll get when you get to those levels, and then you'll get an achievement for getting all the collectibles and getting gold on all the levels as well. So it's been a fun game. I've really enjoyed it. I didn't really know much of it going in. I just said, okay, it's a free game, April of this year, and got it ready. But I've been enjoying it as I've been kind of going back to it a few times for different things on TA, and I think it'd be a fun game. It's priced at $24.99 right now. If you didn't get it on for as the games with gold, it looks like, let's see, the lowest price was $3.74. It hasn't been on sale for a while. Yeah, that's way better than the $24.99. I think falling into that $10 to $15 range would be pretty good. It's a respectable list that'll give you, and a respectable game, and I think that about $10-ish would be a good price for it if you did have to pay for it. That is Peaky Blinders Mastermind, and a fun game. I've enjoyed it so far.
Very nice. Interesting to see a stealth strategy real-time game.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see those games on TA and you're like, well, I don't know if it really fits in that bill, but this one does, because you do need the stealth. You can get caught, and then obviously the strategy and kind of real-time strategy as you're going through it to slip past enemies, because there's not combat yet in the game. I don't know if there will be later. But there's not any combat at all.
Yeah, you're currently at a scary 666 TA score in the game. And
That's true. I guess that's
now,
right.
I assume you're going to go for the completion?
I will. Yeah, it's probably be one of those games that I'll go back to for a target or something like that. Just kind of save it for that stuff. And I will get it eventually. So far, the golds haven't been too hard to get. Usually, I'll just kind of go through a level once, see what I need to do, and then kind of go back. And like I said, you don't even need to finish the level if you don't want to. You could basically get to the end and then just rewind time and go back to the start and start it again without having to exit it if you want to.
Sounds good. All right, thank you for that talk on Peaky Blinders Mastermind. rawkerdude, your turn, dude.
All right. Well, you said you hated Koosh's game, the title, Laika H2
yeah?
Blood. I think you're going to love mine. It's called Born of Bread. And this is a brand new RPG that has just come out on Xbox. And it is in the style of like a Paper Mario game, which I've never played, but just looking at it, that's what it reminds me of. It is a pretty run-of-the-mill RPG so far. You start out and, quickly figure out that you need to become this hero, and you need to navigate a world and go fight enemies in turn-based combat. As you navigate this world, and it's very linear the way you have to do it, you'll come across allies that will then join you. Each of those allies have special skills that will allow you to traverse the world. And so there's going to be backtracking to different spots whenever you have new abilities to use. And you do that, a few times until you get to the end of the game. And it's not a hard game, and all the focus is on, like I said, the turn-based combat. So kind of like the newer Pokemon, you see these enemies in the overworld, and they're just out there, and if you get near them, they will try to come and chase you, and once they touch you, or if you hit them, you will enter into this combat. And the combat is all it's all mini games, and pretty much all of them are time based. So if you play an attack, you have to. Each one will be different. You'll have a dial that spins, and you'll have to stop it in the green. Some will be like a vertical bar that is going down, and you only have one shot. And as soon as it hits the green, you have to stop it. There's one that is a quick time event where you have to press these certain letter buttons on your controller in a certain order, things like that. And as you play these attacks, you'll obviously do damage. Now, the strategy part comes into which attacks you play. As you go through the game and you explore, you'll get new weapons, and the weapons have different types of weapons. They are like a sword or a hammer kind of deal, and then they'll kind of have different elements as well. And you'll come across boons that you can apply to your character, and some of those boons will tell you how much HP the enemy has, what they're weak against. So once you have that boon, which I pretty much kept on the whole game, I'll figure out that this enemy is weak to fire, but they have a strong defense against swords. So I don't want to use any of my sword-based weapons when I fight them, whether it's fire or not, because I know that it'll eat up a lot of the damage I'm doing. Things like that. Whenever the enemy attacks, you can time your button press to take less damage. Very rarely you'll get a miss or take 0 damage, but most of the time it's 1 or 2 points less. It doesn't seem like it's a whole lot, but I'm sure it did help in the long run. And there's a boon for that as well to help you with your timing to get that. But other than that, that's kind of the game. I did question about talking about it because they actually released the game, and up until yesterday,
Really?
it was not completable. I was near the end of chapter 4 out of 5 complete chapters, and one of the abilities that your last ally lets you have you couldn't actually use it. And it was very much needed in order to progress the rest of that chapter. And I happened to come across an update for the game yesterday, applied it, and I was able to use it. So lucky for them, that part is fixed, and I was able to complete the game as of yesterday. Just the story. There's been a lot of bugs with it, and I know it's only been out a week, but a lot of graphical issues. It's not a great camera. If you could think of Paper Mario, that's what I keep alluding to when I talk of Born of Bread. There's some platforming that you have to do, and the camera angle is not your friend in a lot of it. It's hard to see where you are versus like the platform you're trying to go to. So if it's pretty small or pretty narrow, hopefully you are lined up correctly. Otherwise, you're going to fall either down to another level that you have to then climb back up, or if it's in the water or something like that, a pit, you'll fall, you'll respawn and you'll lose like a health point or something. But little things here and there, little glitches, kind of brought down my experience. Yeah, other than that, it's a run-of-the-mill RPG, I think. And it's very reminiscent of, like I said, Paper Mario. It's kind of the vibes I get from it from start to finish. Yeah, definitely has the look.
How close does it feel to like a Dodgeball Academia?
I'm trying to recall. It's probably pretty similar, because that was turn-based combat as well, right?
Yeah, I think it was, but it's just like with the kind of like the paper-y type aspect of like moving through the levels. Even that's kind of what I was getting from
pretty much
from both of
yeah,
those.
pretty much. It's exactly what you would expect. And if you played that one, yeah, that's a good relation for that one for sure. There is a gluten-free mode. So if in the accessibility options, which is pretty much just that, You can turn on gluten-free mode, and they won't mention any gluten-based pastries, I guess. I don't know why that's there, but it is. But yeah, so far nobody has completed this game. There's actually a good bit of achievements that have not been unlocked. So I don't know if that's bugginess, just unobtainables, or if it's just that underplayed. It only has 44 starters at the moment. It's not getting a lot of greatness coming from Steam, which is kind of where I'm getting most of my information. So yeah, there's still a lot of mysteries about the game that I would like to know, but it's just not great. Some of the achievements do have trackers, but they don't work super great. So I've had some issues with some of those. So yeah, not a great selling point for Born of Bread, but maybe one if you are really itching for an RPG like this. Maybe one to put a price tracker on. It's $30. I would not pay that for the experience I got with this game. Maybe 15, probably no more than that as a max, so half off. Which I hate to say, but if it worked better, then I would probably allow it. But you're looking at about a 15 to 17-hour campaign, and then I have no idea on the cleanup since nobody has it completed. But there's a ton of side quests, maybe like 80 or so. So the content's there. It's just kind of it's all samey. There's a lot of fetch quests, so it's not really interesting.
Yeah. That always brings RPGs down for me when they're just a bunch of fetch quests.
Yeah. And one of the things that I've really got annoyed is each of the allies that you get, like they seem to have their own, like you can level them up as well. And the bad part is you only level them up by finding a collectible in the game. So no matter how much you use them in combat or how well they do or how bad they do, they don't level up anything based off of that. It's all based off of a collectible you find and then turn in. But to reach their maximum friendship level, you have to like do a quest with them. And I was on track to do one of them, and I did it. I got the star next to the quest, but there's obviously another part to it, and it quickly told me on the text on the screen. But after that went away, there's no there's nothing in the menus or anything about where I need to go. And they're very vague about it. So I'm stuck with somebody who's almost max level and I can't get their special power or whatever it may be until I figure that out. So that kind of sucks. And I have been reading a lot of the text L, but the problem with it is
boy.
you have to click the button to advance it, and it is so fast to put like a response at the bottom that many times I will be trying to go through the text and it'll pick a response and it'll go on, and I don't even know what I said, but what you say doesn't seem to have a bearing on choices or morale or anything like that.
I was going to say
luckily.
a game like this, it needs a good sense of humor and funny dialogue.
It's very punny with the bread stuff, but other than that, it's kind of blah. I don't know. So yeah,
I mean, I see there's an achievement called property damage. It says destroy 200 containers in the environment. We should fine you. So that's humorous. I was wondering if there's more things like that.
a little bit. There are destructible things in the environment, and you get a currency out of them. Sometimes you get food, which is how you kind of replenish your health points, which I didn't mention, and your will points, which are kind of how you use your special abilities. It's not enough to just have a weapon. You have to have the points available to you to do that weapon's move. So obviously the more powerful stuff costs more. So that's what that's for. As far as funny achievements. There's one called Daddy Issues because that's relevant to the game. But other than that, the humor is on the
Okay.
less side, I guess. Yeah, it's unfortunate because it looks like it
I
has
assume
potential.
TA has it listed
It
as
just did
action
not live
adventure
up to
because
it.
it's new and they haven't voted on it yet.
Probably that. It definitely needs to be turn-based and turn-based and role-playing RPG, yeah. I should
Yeah.
probably vote on that. Yeah. But that was Born of Bread.
Much better title. Much better. All right. I wanted to
Indeed.
go ahead and quickly talk about 12 Days of Christmas. This is usually one of the community's favorite events. We have a channel in the Discord dedicated to it, where you can see the new challenge come in every day, and then people discuss what they've been working on, get some ideas. I am currently on day 7, so I'm probably behind some of you guys. Where's my games? Oh, man.
I just passed you today.
Oh, there we go. So, real quick, for day 1, I got the bingo. Yeah, day 2 was easy. That was for completing base games with a completion time of over 20 hours. I wound up getting the tutorial achievement from Party Animals and the tutorial from Gears 5 that I hadn't done. So I got 2 tutorials. And then day 30 was a 1:2, 3 ratio. That's easy. Very easy these days. And I've been trying to do synergy with RTDL as well. So for my 3 ratio achievement, I got an achievement in The Sims 4 that I hadn't got. I used Bill's excellent video walkthrough, but it's like 4 years old at this point, and some of the stuff is not working. You have to download stuff from the store, the in-game gallery, and it's a whole thing. But basically, there's an achievement. It's a lovely achievement called Black Widow for having one of your Sims outlive 5 different spouses. So you have to basically, you make a young lady and you keep making elderly men and keep marrying them, and then you keep having woohoo with them until they die of exertion. So it's fun, but it takes a while. And there used to be a way where you just download them and they died instantly, but that doesn't work anymore. Day 4, you need to play a game or have an achievement name containing the letters E, V, I, and L in any order. I played Void Gore and got the Big Collector 4, 5, 6, and 7 achievements. So that one, I luckily had an easy one lined up. Day 5, it was for High Five Rush, where you have to do hack and slash and music games. And I went back to a game that I started back in 2018, which is Deadpool. And the interesting thing about contests like this is I probably last played Deadpool for 12 Days of Christmas last year. And I laugh every time I play it. I enjoy it. And I can't see myself going back to it now that I got what I needed out of it. But I did the first 2 levels and I enjoyed it. So hopefully it shows up on something else along the way. It is very sad that happened. Day 6 is 6 achievements in games with the crossplay feature. I used Killer Instinct, Halo Infinite, and Power Wash Simulator, which is why I've been playing Power Wash lately. You'll be proud of me, Jameson. I did the Greased Lightning achievement in Halo Infinite. The speed run in the tutorial.
Oh, nice.
And I actually did it pretty quickly. It didn't take me very long. It took me maybe, I don't know, 10 tries. The hardest part was if you fail, you have to like run back to the beginning and start it again. But I found a nice video that shows you some shortcuts of where to jump up, and you have to jump on the ledges. And that's one of the highest ratios in the game. It's like a 3.84 ratio for something that takes 25 seconds. So I was proud of myself for that one. And last but not least, I'm on day 7, which is 7 retro titles.
Nice.
And you have to get achievements in games published or developed by Capcom, Konami, Rare, Sega, Square Enix, Electronic Arts, or Activision. And while I'm at it, I've just been playing more Power Wash Simulator. So that's what I have been doing. And I've been having a lot of fun with it, like I always do. Jameson, did you want to discuss your stuff? Anything come to mind? You don't have to be as thorough as I am. I'm crazy. You could just talk about anything that strikes your fancy.
No, I just finished I just finished 7 today. I used Dead Space Ignition, which is kind of like a Xbox 360 game on Game Pass. So I might talk about that in the future. But now I'm on the Star Wars or action adventure genre one, level 8. So I'll probably do that either after the podcast or start some tomorrow, and then just finish it up.
Oh yeah,
I've enjoyed it. It's my favorite event.
What's the relevance
I've
with
always enjoyed it. Yeah.
8 and Star Wars? Is there something I'm missing?
Jedi Survivor came out this year.
Star plus wars
that is
equals 8
true.
letters.
Is that the actual answer?
Non-Matt podcast. I don't know.
But is there anything that you played?
8 Geese Laying.
So Dead Space Ignition is a game that you wouldn't have
Geese
played otherwise? Like any other things like that?
I had no recollection of that game until it came on when I was looking for a game that I needed to play for that and trying to find a game. I did start Jurassic World Evolution for the evil one. I had started it for the challenge before it, and then it came when I was doing evil. I was like, oh, that was just a nice coincidence because Jurassic Park Evolution had all the right words in there for that, so that was a nice one for me on that one. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I'm looking forward to going in there and doing some more in that. But other than that, I don't really have anything else yet. That's probably been the game for me that I've enjoyed playing the most was Jurassic Park. I'm on the first level there.
So here's my guess. It's 8 maids and milking.
Oh, that's what.
So all I'm thinking is that they're thinking about that blue milk. Is the only thing I can think. Maybe we can get like Freem's inside baseball talk on why these things are based or themed the way they are.
Aren't they? They're themed on games that released this year, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what they're trying to do?
Yeah, but
Okay.
like maybe that was the connection. Like, it's the blue
okay,
milk.
yeah, I
Who
see.
knows?
Right.
Well, it says 8 banthas milking.
Yeah.
Is that what makes the milk?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
All right,
the
well,
milk
that's
in
gross.
Star Wars.
Good job,
That is
Freem.
what it is then. Yeah.
Good job. Nate, how about you?
Beware that turtles should beware.
How about me? I'm on. What day am I on? I don't even know. I'm just I'm chipping away at it. I'm having fun. I'm just going for quick stuff. Not looking to be the best at exercising. So I'm 10 Assassins Leaping right now, and I'm just looking for things that aren't Palgi, because I don't want to just burn all my Palgis. Those are great for spelling challenges, and I don't really want to burn them just for
Well, I have
games that in
I
the
have a
series.
series for
So
you,
I'm
Nate.
trying to find other stuff. So this one might take me
It's
a little bit
called
longer.
Halo. Oh, come on, you love it.
Yeah, I also never want to play Halo, so
No, I'm the same way. Whenever I'm looking for something, I always have to think about that. Do I want to use that game now, or do I want to save it for maybe something in the future?
the Palgies are just so good for spelling challenges. Like I need a quick, whatever. Well, Palgi takes you
Like
2 minutes to get
yeah,
to. Like it takes longer to download it than it takes to get the
yeah,
achievement.
and they usually do some weird letters too, like a Q or an X or something in there, or Y. They usually have something
Absolutely.
weird,
Nate, have you been playing anything that you
different.
normally wouldn't have that fit one of the categories?
No, not really. For the most part, I'm trying to to play games that I'm playing recently, so I'm not just straying too far away, but that's not possible sometimes. Like I was able to slam out a bunch of McPixel. I was able to slam out a lot of Forgotten Anne. So I'm trying to play as few games as possible in order to get these things done. Yeah, I also used Battle Axe on day 5. I used JoJo's Bizarre on 6, and I used Island Saver on day 4. So I'm just trying to minimize the amount of games that I'm cracking open for each one of these. But these day 9 and day 10, day 9 specifically, I had to jump from game to game because that was a spelling challenge, and I'm not going to burn my letters in Palgi. And then challenge 10, I don't know. I don't think I'll get it in one game. I'm going to have to hop around. I'm not going to play Halo.
I haven't gone that far yet, so I don't even know what is included. But I'm pretty sure I was told. Well, let me go back. So challenge 8 is the 8 Vanthas Milking. So that's for 8 achievements in action adventure genre or Star Wars games. Challenge 9 is 9 planets exploring. So you have to spell Starfield using the first letter of your achievement names. Challenge 10 is 10 assassins leaping, which, as discussed, is 10 achievements from games that are part of a series or franchise with 10 or more entries. Now, I've heard that stacks count. So, like, BioShock is there because there's 10.
Yes, it's not distinct. It's not 10 distinct entries. So, like, Minecraft counts, like, because Minecraft exists everywhere, and each one is a different one.
I once again have a grammar qualm with this apostrophe in Assassins. Like, I know in Assassin's Creed there is one, but there shouldn't be one here. Come on. 10 assassins. Get rid of the apostrophe. Freem. Challenge 11, 11 puppets lying. Does Liza P have all secret achievements? I'm guessing it does. Oh.
No,
okay.
but it doesn't. It has a lot, but not.
Earn 11
I mean,
secret
you could
achievements.
probably fill this out, but that's not going
to
be quick. So I'm on
what's day 12?
Day 12. Let me tell you, day 11 and day 12 suck. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there because, as you said, 11 is earn 11 secret achievements, and you're going to be hard pressed. There's probably games out there that you could do all this in one game. I got half of them in Soko Bunny, luckily, but I did have to jump around, do a couple of others, and I do have to give you thanks, Elle, because you helped me with one of these without even knowing it. Yeah, I got 2 achievements that were secret, and all I had to do was view the credits, and one of them was on Freedom Finger, and you had the guide to tell me where the credits were. So thanks.
I did.
Yeah, I don't know why you felt
he
you
wrote
needed
a guide.
but
That's news to me.
I can read it verbatim if you want. Start the game, scroll right, and find the options.
No.
Hit down 6 times.
Why don't I remember that?
And click on credits.
That's
yeah,
funny.
you did. And then to day 12. So I usually get these done early in the day. This is the only one I haven't. For 2 reasons. One, so the challenge is 12 stars connecting, so Sea of Stars, and it's Link Frog. So the first letter of the achievement needs to match the last letter of the previous achievement that you earned. Obviously, if you have stuff in between that is invalid, that's fine, but you won't count in the list until you have that match from last letter to first letter. And I need to warn you guys so you don't repeat my mistakes. First off, you need to click start with this one. So you have to specifically say when you're going to start it. That wasn't my problem. My problem is I didn't read all of the valid stuff because we've done these before and it's worked. But the achievements to be valid must end in an English letter. So I picked, being the smart guy I am, Explosive Jake, which every achievement is level 19, level 20, level 21, so on and so forth. Well, those numbers made that invalid, and I scanned in 12 of them thinking I got this on lock. Nothing tracked. Nothing was valid. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and I just picked a random one, and I'm just going to go from there. I think I have like 3 or 4, but I'm out of scans. I'm not pro. I'm not going to pay for pro just to finish this last day. I'll have to see what it is because I'm confused at now what I've unlocked and what counts and what. So day 12 is sucking for me. Everything else has been like mostly one game's worth. So yeah, day 11 and 12 are probably my 2 worst.
I was just looking through my valid achievements for Secret, and the one that makes the most sense, I believe that should be easy, is Coffee Talk 2. Seems to have a lot of secret achievements. But I'm sure, and the BioShock games there's a lot more than you would think. If you're looking on TA and you have the secret thing on check, they all show up for you, but
I'm also looking for stuff that's like under an hour.
Yeah.
2 max.
I get it.
I mean, you have till the end of the month, so there's no rush. I just, like Koosh, like, this is fun, but I kind of just want to do it, get it done with. I got other stuff I need to get to, you know? We got Game Pass coming up soon. We got to figure out what we have to play.
Absolutely. Hopefully we get podcasted. Last year, I think we had like a communications blackout. The last half of December and the first half of June. January, I'm supposed to call it.
6 month blackout.
Blackout.
You had
I
all
was
the emotions.
upset.
You were sad. You were disappointed. You were scared. You yeah. Grief.
I went through all the stages. Yeah, and then they finally came back. Yeah, Melissa McGame Pass did me dirty, and she finally came back and started talking. So hopefully we'll get that. We won't have that communication blackout. Hopefully they'll have figured it out and scheduled their posts when everyone went out for vacation. So we'll see.
All right. So I hope everybody's having fun with the 12 Days of Christmas contest. Well, not really a contest, but the event on TA. Community event. Thanks to Freem and the event team for all of that. Very fun. And with that, we have sales. Hey, Koosh, what tabs you got open?
Oh, not much. Seems like the sales are kind of weak right about now. I guess the end of the year stuff is coming or came.
Do we usually?
We haven't had the end of the year sales yet, right?
Hopefully.
Kind of had some EA Play stuff a little bit.
Yeah, we had some of that stuff. I feel like we didn't have like blowout sales yet. So I don't know. I'm hoping for more. Maybe we'll get it like this. Next week is when we'll get the big sales, and that's why things are kind of great right now. But let's move ahead. We have Shaked on a Plane, $2 down from 20. This is a party game. It's basically Overcooked on a plane. Not really my jam, but hey, it's 10th of the price. So check it out. Next up, Alba, a wildlife adventure, $8 down from 20. This is an adventure game, 2 to 3 hours, and I talked about it on level 205. I thought it was a great, what they call a cozy game, right? Cozy? I think it's the new term for these types of games. And it was fun, kind of a kids type game. But I had a good time, and my daughter played it. She actually played most of it. I do a little bit of cleanup, but she experienced most of it, and it was great for her. And she was, I think, 8 or 9 when she did that. So next up, Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry. It's $4 down from 40. It's an adventure.
Don't let your daughter play that one.
Yes, no, this is not for her. This is $4 down from 40. It's an adventure point and click. 6 to 8 hours with a walkthrough. I love the Sierra games. And this is one of them. But the adult side of the point and click Sierra games. And then next up, we have Wild Hearts, $9 down from 90. So also a huge discount. Action adventure. This is EA's answer to Monster Hunter. It's 80 to 100 hours. And it's on EA Play right now, but you just never know when that's going to go away. So if this is your jam, get it. That's a great price.
You got quite the different styles going from Alba, as you said, cozy, to Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, cozy and sleazy.
Cozy and sleazy. There you go.
My two favorite
games. I was going to say the new tagline for Christmas.
Can you play that on your computer by any chance? Oh.
No, you can't play it at work.
I don't want to play it at work. I just want to play with the keyboard. And mouse.
I haven't played any of the new one.
I've played this one. I've played this one exactly. I like the 3D Leisure Suit Larry games for no particular reason, so I had to use a guide to get through it.
Is it funny? No, was that someone smart?
I don't think it was. I don't know. Maybe I've matured.
Yes, there's an achievement called Grab Her by the Pixel for meeting the president. This is amazing. I'm buying it right now. I'll explain it to you later.
Now, I played the PC games or the Mac games way back when, but I haven't played any of these more recent Leisure Suit Larrys. So I played them before, they got past like 2 or 3. Like I played Leisure Suit Larry, like the first one.
That's good news. I'm going to recommend amazing, easy gamerscore games. Mushroom Quest is 74 cents, worth 2,000 gamerscore, and Mushroom Savior is $1.74, in which we just got notified that this game is now up to 5,000 gamerscore. And what they do in Mushroom Savior to add gamerscore is just add secret crystals in each level, and you just go into the level and you find the crystal and you're 200 gamerscore richer, and it's very easy. If you're into this kind of thing, it's always fun to see these things first hit TA, because right now it's worth 14,000 TA. This makes me laugh. It's always fun during G-Task when this stuff happens and people are panicking because of the decay. All right, Wild West. What do you
got? I just got the one game this week. I'm going to recommend High on Life DLC bundle, so you get the game and the DLC that released. It's $19.99 down from $49.99. So I don't think there's been a rumor yet if this is leaving Game Pass, but just to own it, if you want to own it and not worry about any kind of closure from Game Pass, I think that's a pretty good deal. Maybe it'll go cheaper, who knows? But
it is. We are at the anniversary of it, so
yeah.
If it misses this mid-December mark, we might be okay. But that's a good deal.
Yeah, I remember. I think it came out last December, right? Yeah, that is.
It did, yeah. And then the DLC is like more recent, like within the past couple months.
Yeah. I could see it staying on a little bit longer just to try to get some DLC sales from it. Who knows? Who knows? If you want to own it, good price right now.
I'm kind of following suit this week as well. I didn't see much on there, but there is a Game Pass game that is a good discount, and that is Deathloop. I know not everybody has Game Pass, or you just like to own your stuff, and Deathloop is $12, down from $60. The base version is fine. There is a deluxe edition if you want to pay a few bucks more, and you get some unique weapons and some buffs. They have like these trinkets that you can equip. Probably not worth it, but if you like that extra stuff, a few more dollars is not a bad price. One of my favorite games of last year that I played, so definitely look into Deathloop.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. We do have some limited Game Pass news. Of course, keep in mind that Nate and Freemhole have a newish segment called Game Passable. And you guys do that every other week, more or less, right?
Yeah, we like to do one at the beginning of the month and then 1-2 weeks later. I'm trying to just forecast out
In which Freem
for
gets
what's
his
going to
crystal
Game Pass
ball
in 2 months.
and Nate gets his magic 8-ball, and they play with their ball. They predict what's going to happen in the future. And if you hit exclamation point Game Pass in the Discord, right, you could see an amazing spreadsheet with some wildly accurate predictions. So I recommend.
Yeah, that's the front end of Freem's
He
predictions.
likes it in the back.
He keeps all the back end
Yeah.
data to himself, but that's where he posts. Yeah, he posts the 2-month out kind of guess, and bans them out by 75%, 50%, almost certain, that sort of stuff. So it's just guessing based on publisher data and previous Game Pass entries. So there you go. Check out the segment, and you'll hear more about it. Unless you
Well,
want to
I'm
just look
excited
at the
to
spreadsheet.
try Goat Simulator 3. Oh my gosh. I am one of the 3 people also who liked Goat Simulator. But I think this one's like 4 players. Oh man. We should simul it.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
You could have them. Please take them.
I call Prue.
Oh, speaking of
I don't
Prue, you
think
just
I
made
can
me
get him to
watch
play this one.
Galaxy Quest. Are you guys familiar with this thing? It seems like a Jameson movie.
Mm-hmm.
Know of it.
I have avoided it all these years because I
He
really don't
made
like
you
Tim
watch
Allen.
it. It's amazing. Great movie.
But it was okay. It was just okay. It was just okay. What? I ranted on him last week with the Santa Claus nonsense. Awful.
Yeah, but you act like he had the.
Come on, man.
He was the reason why it was called the Santa Claus.
I just don't like him.
Pretty sure
okay?
Disney was like, "Hey, that's what we're making it."
Um.
Well, that's fine.
So Alan Rickman,
I mean, I like
Alan
him, but do
Rickman
you like Alan Rickman? Do
was
you like
amazing.
Sam Rock?
and even my kids were
Rockwell?
like, "Wait,
Sam Rock.
is that Snape?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's Snape." And they figured it out by his voice more than anything. It was fine, and Sigourney Weaver was yeah. She was a good actress in that movie. And Sam Rockwell and Tony Shalhoub. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was fine. I don't know if it'll go down as cult classic. It's always good to watch one of those movies that there's lots of GIFs and memes about that I can now know what they're talking about. So thanks, Prue.
Is it on a streaming service?
It's not,
watch
and I
it
had
together?
to borrow this damn thing from I borrowed it from the library on Blu-ray
Oh, too bad.
because that's how dedicated I was to the cause. It is?
It is on Paramount Plus.
Oh, look at that.
No. I checked.
Maybe
You had to go
Apple
to the
TV?
library like a
All right, well, if it is,
fool.
Maybe not.
I love that
If you go
website.
to the wonderful website justwatch.com and search for it, you
All
can
right.
usually.
Well,
It says it's streaming on
and
Paramount Plus, Apple
Icefire,
TV. So
he's trying to get us to watch like a documentary about this movie, and that's on Amazon Prime. You can research that, JMO. Goat Simulator 3, Against the Storm PC game, strategy sim and city building. How Long to Beat has it as 180 hours, so we can get started now and talk about it next week. Tin Hearts. That's brand new, right? Cloud console PC. Puzzle game.
Brand
Is
new
it a
Game
puzzle
Pass, yes.
game or? Oh,
It's Lemmings meets
there
Toy
the
Soldiers.
can.
Literal.
Well, back in
toy
our
soldiers.
day, kids used to play with toy soldiers and plastic men. And Far Cry 6 is available now. That's one series I'm not really familiar with, but it is quite popular.
I'm glad I bought that game.
And when it leaves Game Pass,
Haven't
you
played
can
it
then
yet.
play it.
well, it might be better just to buy the complete edition whenever it goes on deep sale. If
I
you
think
wanna have
that
the
one I
DLC.
got. Yeah, I think that one I got the gold edition because Far Cry's been doing older like remasters with their gold edition. So I got like Blood Dragon remaster with
Yeah.
it. Something like that. Another thing I learned is if you do Ubisoft Plus, I think you
Yes.
get all the DLC with their games. So if it's something that like you're ready for the DLC and you know you're gonna knock it out, you can either buy it or you could sub to Ubisoft Plus for like a month and do it.
That's true. Would you be able to cross save? I know there was some issues at the beginning when it released with some of the things
That's a good
with
question. I don't know.
with Assassin's. I think it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla had some issues because it was like a free play and then it was on Ubisoft or something, and there were some issues that people were having with save. So that might be something just to look into if you wanted to do something like that, if that would work or not.
I mean, especially with that, Prince of Persia game coming out soon, and the fact that they just released, Mirage, and
I will be trying Ubisoft Plus January 11th.
there you
Yep.
go.
Alrighty. And games are leaving Game Pass, but I guess by the time you hear this, they'll be gone. But I wanted to point out that Freem
I think they'll
was
have a
100%
day.
correct about Chained Echoes. That is bye-bye. That's one of those games I would have loved 30 years ago. I love Chrono Trigger. I'd love to play Chained Echoes, but alas, it's gone. It's gone. I guess you would still have time to play Rubber Bandits. That's a 1 to 2 hour easy completion. But Chained Echoes, bye-bye. Opus Magnum, bye-bye. Potion Craft, which is another one Koosh and Freem talked about on Game Passable. Also bye-bye.
I saw a little thing on Twitter today that from Potion Craft
Oh,
developers they teased maybe some more content coming. So we'll see. I mean, they could be doing that old DLC or update after it leaves Game Pass.
Watch out indeed.
So watch out for that.
All right, we're nearing the end of our illustrious podcast. It is now time for Brag Camp, or since Corey is here, we'll go back to the old school and say Proclamation Point. You're up first, Corey.
I'm pretty sure it's
Quiet,
been Brad Camp for like 200 episodes. Anyways, for completions, Z Drunken Monkeys has completed 900 games. Elroy OMJ's at 1,450 games. Sniped by a Girl, 1,750. Magic Monkey, 1,900. Sangrias, 3,150. And Redemption Denied at 3,400 completed games.
In streaks, Wild West 08 is currently on a 200-day achievement win streak. ScarovEse with 750 days. Ben L72 with 1,000. Sniped by a Girl with 3,700. Firehawk D with 4,000. And tied with Big L.
All right, in gamerscore, we got PRTM Kluskero with 300,000 gamerscore, Chesno with 850,000 gamerscore, and What the Fug with 1.1 million gamerscore.
Oh, man. Big L. Big L doesn't have a lot to read. In leaderboards, Aptos 84 is now in the top 100 of the Australia TA Difference leaderboard. I was looking to see if anyone tagged me in for Brad Camps. I tagged myself about the 4,000-day achievement win streak. That was fun. I said, "Go touch grass, loser." See? I said that to myself.
So proud of you.
You should be proud of me. It's a round number. All right, that's it for milestones this week. Make sure you join us in the Discord where all the magic happens. We have tons of channels, tons of contests, the usual going on. We'd be very happy if you joined our Patreon. You get to help shape the podcast every week, answering our question of the week. And we sometimes ask you guys for advice and ideas for the show. We always appreciate your input. Thank you so much for rawkerdude to join us this week. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're supposed to ask guests,
no.
right? I don't know. Sure, Big Al.
Sure.
Wild West, KooshMoose. I'm Big Al. And class is dismissed. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
We love you, Foof.
Who?
He'll never hear that.
Aww.
Hello and welcome back to Neverending Stories, a segment where I talk to patrons and staff about some of their long unfinished stories and campaigns. Joining me once again with another completion on his list is Mr. Scarovese.
Yes, thank you.
Complete with accent.
Yes, mandatory now.
How's it going?
Very good. How about you?
I'm doing well. All the better for another wonderful chat with your fine self.
Yeah, always good to chat.
Yeah, about another game that you have completed. Tell me, Scarovese, what game are we going to be talking about?
Oh, let's see. Today it is Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands.
Yes. 360 Ubisoft title, released back in 2010, and a kind of, I guess, reboot of the series, I think. Pretty much.
They kind of keep forgetting about it and then like trying to bring it back, which is ironic that they named it Forgotten Sands then, I guess. but
Oh, good one. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, it came out quite a long time ago, and you started it quite a long time ago.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so you started it about a year after release, October 2011. And it's interesting because, I don't know, either you had a day off, day to yourself, or you were just really, really into the game, because you did over half of the achievements, 23 out of 40 achievements in one day, smashed it through.
Yep.
Which took you to about the halfway point in the story, I figured, looking at the story achievements, kind of an estimate. Well, I looked at the last story achievement you got for beating the boss, and in one of the solutions it says, this is a mid-game boss battle. So there you go, middle of the game.
It definitely gets a little bit more difficult in the second half, but yeah, I think story-wise it's roughly halfway.
And then you put it down after that massive single day of blasting. Came back the next month for a couple more, and then silence.
Yeah.
If anyone listened to our previous segment, they will know that you took a bit of a break, a bit of a long break.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing
couple years.
this fell victim to that as well.
Yeah, I think it was on like my active list that I was, going to get back to, and then sold my Xbox, and didn't do anything achievement related for about 8 years, and then when I picked it all back up, this was definitely one that when I saw it on TA, I was like, yeah, I liked that game, but now I have to purchase it again and then see if I have a save. And unlike the two that we talked about last time, it turned out I had nothing on this one.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah,
well,
had to start fresh.
At least it's not a long one.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's what she said.
It wasn't. It was not too bad. I think there could have been worse ones to start fresh.
Definitely. Well, okay, so the game itself is a 3D platformer.
Yep.
Kind of platforming more in the style of, I don't know, Assassin's Creed? Well, not parkour exactly, but I'm trying to think what the closest kind of thing would be to it.
Honestly, it plays like a lot of the open world games, so Assassin's Creed isn't too far off. Things like
you're kind of scrambling up walls and well, Tomb Raider actually, I'd say Tomb Raider in some respects as well, a bit more fluid and combat focused than Tomb Raider ever was. But a lot of jumping and jumping around kind of rooms, navigating rooms vertically and horizontally to get.
And both games really like their poles that you spin off of and do crazy flips to land onto other ledges. So yeah, Tomb Raider's a good analogy.
Well-placed poles. I was always impressed in Tomb Raider by the fact that the architects built these elaborate rooms, and then somebody went, you know what? Somebody might want to get from that point of the room to that point of the room. So we should put a pole right there to allow them to swing across.
Sometimes it's like flags, and the flags will be ascending on these poles up the side of the room, and it's like you wouldn't do that, if you were hanging flags around like a balcony, you'd just make them all level, wouldn't you? But yeah, then you couldn't use them for parkour, I guess, so that goes straight out the window.
Amazing. Well, so as we kind of said, you did so much in a single day, and I assumed it's because you were enjoying it. Do you remember all the way back then your kind of feelings on the game?
I didn't have any long-lasting negative feelings, which I definitely do for some other games that I started back then. So I mean that's kind of a good sign for it. And it was kind of lucky as I was looking through what I needed to do the second time. I had already taken care of a couple of the more difficult achievements in the first half of the game, so it was really smooth sailing when I picked it back up this time.
Yes, because you have to complete some sections without, specifically boss fights, without taking any damage.
Yeah,
which is a mix of well-timed combat and quick-time events, I want to say, is part of that.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many of those in the boss battle. you pretty much you have some powers that you can use. There's one that either increases your damage, and there's one that increases your defense. And you can kind of pick which one of those you want to focus on, and then just kind of wail away at the boss. And you either need to pay attention to when those things are running out and re-up them, or, dodge and learn the timing of the boss.
Am I right in remembering that some of the boss fights also kind of move around? So there is navigation sections between kind of phases of the boss, and if you're not careful, that's the point where you could take damage in a kind of annoying way, because you're kind of speed running between sections. Is it like the walls are falling apart or something?
Yeah, that's that first boss battle that you get to. You're fighting a demon, and he has like 3 phases, and in between the 2 phases, you're parkouring through the temple as it's crumbling, and he's throwing fireballs at you from like down the hallway, and you can't take damage in any part of the boss fight, and you can't take damage in the 2 parkour sections. But that was an achievement that I got in 2011.
Yes. I'll tell you, I played this game in 2012, and it was not an achievement I got at that point. It's my final achievement of the game, so I had to go back and go for that one. I think it took a few attempts for me to do it.
That one, like, I was looking at it, and I was so thankful to 2011 me, because that looks like it would have been just an absolute bear to take on. Luckily, the one at the end of the game for beating him the second time without taking damage, nowhere near as hard. You're on a platform. He is pretty much not moving. He has like 5 attacks. He telegraphs them really well, and you can just use your armor the whole time. And as long as you notice that it falls, you can just re-up it and then keep attacking.
Yeah. And by that point, you're pretty much powered up, aren't you? So you're like full armor, full health, full everything.
He also summons the enemies that you can use to get more mana to power your armor. So like it kind of just it feeds itself. So
that's another kind of trope with all boss fights is, at some point you'd think the boss would realize that actually him summoning minions is actually hindering him, because it's giving you health or regenerating.
It's not doing anything
abilities.
for him. I don't know what the point is for him. It's just they're just fodder for all of my superpowers. So it's a little silly.
So you came back. You had to rebuy the game. So was it a physical copy that you owned originally?
Yeah, I had it on disc, I think. That was pretty much how I had all my games. And then sold all the discs along with the old 360. And then I have some discs now that I've repurchased if I needed to, but I've been buying a lot more digital now. And this went on pretty steep sale. I think it's like $5 now, so it was probably $5 when I picked it up too.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that thankfully was made backwards compatible, and also appears, out of all the ones that they ignore, this one does turn up fairly often on a decent sale, and I'd say worth a pickup for that cut price. Still,
$5 if you like parkour. I mean, it was a great game. Like, even going back to it, I really didn't feel its age, and I really didn't have too many problems with like the controls or anything. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed going back to it, and I think I enjoyed it the first time too. So
yeah, I remember it being solid. Like, it doesn't set the world on fire. It's not like super like innovative or different or anything, but what it does well. In out, jobs are good, and it's not. I don't remember it being particularly buggy or janky or anything like that. It's just a decently well made game.
Yeah, I think that's a good summary, which actually makes it seem even better now, since so many things get released and are, terrible or buggy or incomplete. So
yeah, or just like overdone as well, overblown, like Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft before they decided that every single game had to be a massive sandbox.
Yep. With
a million activities in.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I haven't played a open world Prince of Persia game, if one exists, because that feels like if they had kept this franchise going, that's absolutely the direction it would have gone in, because Yeah.
Oh, almost definitely. Yeah, yeah. Whereas this is a nice focused, effort, and there's something to be said for just making a game that just is what it is and doesn't try to be this massive thing, a false economy of saying more is better.
Yep. Yeah, there was a couple collectibles, but not a whole lot, and most of them were like you were interested in getting them because it did something for you, like that's how you could get more powers. So it was kind of nice, I didn't have to like go get feathers that meant nothing or whatever those other things are.
If you miss a collectible, you'll have to redo the whole game, right?
I think that's accurate.
Select.
Yeah.
I seem to remember, and this is taking me back, that when I was doing it, I was following a guide, and I want to say it was IGN, might be wrong, and the guide was missing a collectible.
Oh no.
So I got to the point where I was like, why does my count not line up to what they're saying it should be? And then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then basically I had to do a speed run of the game again, just to focus on collectibles. Painful.
Man.
Yeah. But that's on me for not being more thorough with my own exploration and stuff, and just relying too much on guides.
Yeah, that's also kind of a sign of the times. That's I think probably the only spot where the game kind of shows its age, because most like AAA titles now kind of have dealt with that, either with chapter select, or you can always go back somewhere, or whatever it is. But yeah, some of these older 360 games, you didn't really have those options, so
yeah,
that's kind of the downside.
So you came back middle of July, and in pretty much 2 days you wrapped the whole thing up. You smashed through the story, getting all the cumulative. It's got quite a lot of cumulative stuff in, which is basically like killing a certain amount of enemies with all the various different kind of abilities and moves that you have available to you. And I don't remember you having to grind those out necessarily, as long as you like focused on variety. So like do all the stuff, like don't just do the same move again and again and again.
Yeah, and there are some enemies that are like weak to a specific type of move, so like you'd want to naturally use like this aerial finisher on these guys when you see them, and there's an achievement for like do that 15 times, and there's more than 15 of those guys. So most of them kind of came naturally as you played. But yeah, if you just completely ignore a move, it's gonna punish you for it, because you will not get that achievement.
And then you collect every upgrade, which again, I think as long as you're doing everything you can along the way, you have enough. I don't know, how did you buy the upgrades? Is it
you get like
points?
When you level up, you get like a gem, and then you slot the gem to like this wall of upgrades, and you do come in a little bit short unless you weren't very good at some sections. I think the walkthrough said that you might be like 3 levels short, and I was only 1 level short. So I must have failed at some particularly combat heavy spots and accidentally racked up a bit more XP than I should have, according to the walkthrough. So the last level is very enemy heavy though, so it says like just don't finish this level until you have all your upgrades. So
right,
if you kind of know that that's coming, it's pretty easy to make sure that you don't miss it.
And then you finished the story and just went ahead and completed the whole game. It's not a difficult game to complete, right? There's no hard playthrough, there's no new game plus, there's no stupid grinds, like ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that way.
It's fully completable. It comes in at 8 to 10 hours, and it's got a 17% completion rate, which is actually lower than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised about that too, because yeah, like you said, there's no difficulty based achievements. It's just those two don't take damage during the boss fight ones that are really like the only very skill based ones.
Yeah, the lowest ones are those and the collectibles one, which I guess because it's missable and because if you cock it up then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
That might be something that people have failed on. In fact, it's funny, the achievement itself is called Got Walkthrough, which in my case, the answer was yes. Yes, it was. I did, but it was wrong.
Just not a good enough walkthrough. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
But you finished the whole thing. 40 achievements, 1,000 game score, and it's a 1.3 ratio. So, it's kind of 360. It was never games with gold, I don't think. And it's never been Game Pass either.
Yeah, see, those things would have really helped it.
It would have, and that's why it kind of keeps it low. It keeps it in that kind of 360 range of, relatively low scoring compared to games that come out these days, especially to Game Pass.
Yeah.
And in fact, thinking about it, it kind of should be, I think, on... Well, is it not on even Ubisoft Plus? I'm just looking now. Would we know that on TA?
Yeah, I think they have a tag for it now, so...
It surprises me.
They were kind of
Right.
selective. Ubisoft was kind of selective with what they put on there. It's not
I
like their whole
guess,
catalog.
I know it's old, but it's decent, It does the job, and especially because they're making a new Princess Persia game.
Right.
So you would think it would kind of be a good kind of background marketing tool to be like, hey, remember these games? They're great. Look forward to the new one kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe they'll add these when the new one comes out as like a hey, we're putting all 4 Prince of Persia games on Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah, in fact, so the whole series on Xbox is covered by the original side-scrolling one, well, kind of a remake of that that was done in XBLA, and which I covered on this segment months ago because myself and GT3 Option Fan had it on our lists, and that is punishingly difficult.
Yeah, that one did not sound like fun when you guys were talking about it.
No,
this one was
not.
great, so I was glad it was not that one.
Yeah, and then there's also the 2008 one, which I know quite a lot of my friends have played and is quite well liked, I think, but I have never played it. You have, though, and you've nearly completed it too.
Yeah, it's a lot like Forgotten Sands. It's the same, like 3D parkour style. You have powers and different weapons. I think in that one, the collectibles are really rough. And then it also got a title update after I had played it. So I have most of the base game achievements for that one. And then I haven't touched the epilogue. But
okay. Would you have to rebuy that one if you wanted to do it?
I think I got that when I got Forgotten Sands, so I do own it now. I don't know if I own... I guess it's not a title update. I guess it's DLC? I can't tell. It says add-on, so...
It does, but it
costs
also doesn't
$10.
Oh, is there a price?
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I have to buy that if I want to get back to it. But
before the store closes.
Yeah.
It's going to be... It's going to be on the chopping list soon.
May need to add that to my list of things to do.
Although actually, no, it is backwards compatible, so it should be safe. But who knows with these days? Yeah.
It'll be like 1 month after they close the non-backwards compatible one that they tell you about the backwards compatible stuff.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. This is bad enough. Awesome. Okay, and that's it. There hasn't been a Prince of Persia game since 2010. And that is a shame, and I really do hope that this one they're making does come to fruition. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, which is more in the style of the original ones, to 2.5D, as they call it. And then also they were doing a remake of Sands of Time, but no remakes or reboots of this one.
That's a shame.
I guess it's just not classic enough to make the cut.
Maybe if they put it on Ubisoft Plus, they'd get more people to play it, and then there'd be more interest in it.
Yeah.
They're shooting themselves in the foot.
I would classify it as a hidden gem.
Yeah.
I think, pretty much.
I
In fact, you gave it 4 stars, and I gave it 4 stars.
There you go. Yeah, like you said, it's solid. It doesn't try to do too much, and it doesn't really have any problems. It just, I'm never going to rate it as like my favorite game ever, but yeah, no complaints.
Awesome. Thank you again for joining me and talking to me about Prince of Persia.
Thanks for having me.
It set my nostalgia kind of memories going because, like I say, I did it about 11 years ago myself and enjoyed it. So it kind of made me long for another one.
Yeah, I like hearing about these segments all the time because it has that almost every time for me because it's, people playing games from like 10 plus years ago a lot of the time. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that one. It's fun to hear people's fresh takes on going through games that you played that long ago. So.
Yeah, you hear that, guys? We don't always need to just hear about the new shiny things.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like hearing about the old stuff.
I mean, we have like the main podcast segment who jump to all the new things that are
all the
coming out.
new, shovelware and
whatever. Need someone who isn't going to talk about East Asia soft for the entire thing. So.
Sick burn. It's okay. This is a safe space. We can say what we want. They're not listening.
Well, that's probably true. So.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you again for joining me, ScaroVese, and I hope to speak to you again soon with another one of your Neverending Stories.
Yeah, I'll do what I can.